Hey guys, I'm Nick, and on this episode of the Scran Line, I'm going to show you guys how to make these Choc raspberry truffle macarons. Now, you guys know I love Beyonce, right? Like, that's just a given. If you didn't know that, now you know. I'm obsessed. I also love the Queen of Rap, Nicki Minaj, and she is a direct inspiration for these macarons. I wanted these to be super pink, super fancy, a little bit of gold on there, and delicious. Just like Nicki Minaj's music. These are the ingredients you need to make them. The ingredients you're going to need are some powdered or icing sugar, some almond meal, regular or caster sugar, dark chocolate melt, heavy or whipping cream. I've got some deep pink food gel here. I've just separated my egg whites a couple hours before I use them. I've got some water, vanilla extract, some freeze-dried raspberries which I just finely crushed, and I've got some gold leaf. Now, I've left instructions on where you can get this stuff in the written recipe. Now guys, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I upload 2 new videos a week. We're going to start off with our chocolate ganache filling. So add your dark chocolate and your cream to a large microwave safe bowl. Microwave it for 20 seconds at a time, mixing each time until it appears nice and smooth. You're going to set that aside and allow it to cool at room temperature. Next, we're going to add about half of our almond meal and half of our powdered sugar into a food processor, and we're going to mix these until they're very well combined. Once you've done that, you can repeat the process with your second half of your ingredients. Now guys, if you don't have a food processor, you can sift these ingredients together. I've just added that to a large mixing bowl, made a little well in the center, and I'm going to add my first batch of egg whites. Now we're going to mix this until it reaches a paste. Cover that with plastic wrap and set it aside. Moving on to our syrup, we're going to add our water and sugar into a small saucepan. Give it a gentle stir, and you want to let it reach a bit of a gentle boil. Now for this part guys, we're going to need a candy thermometer. Once we reach 115 degrees on the candy thermometer, we're going to put our second batch of egg whites on to start mixing. We're going to get those nice and frothy. Once we reach 118 degrees Celsius, take your syrup off the heat. Add it into your frothy egg white in a slow and steady stream. While your mixer is on high speed, let it mix for a couple minutes before you add your vanilla extract and your pink food dye. Then you can continue mixing for about 5 to 6 minutes. Now at some point during this mixing, you want to make sure you scrape down the bowl. When your meringue is nice and thick and glossy and you can turn the bowl upside down and nothing comes out, you know it's done. We can add a spatula full of that to our almond mixture from earlier on, mix it in really well before you add the rest of your meringue and continue mixing. Now guys, some people mix this and count the amount of times they mix it. I think that's not necessary. The way I like to mix my meringue mixture is going around the bowl with a spatula and through the center. Now continue doing this until you reach the ribbon stage. Once your batter falls off your spatula in a ribbon, and disappears into the rest of the batter after about 10 seconds, you know it's done. I'm just going to dab a little bit of my macaron mixture on top of my baking tray and line it with some baking paper. We're going to pipe 3cm rounds of our macaron mixture on our baking tray. Once you have them all piped, you can gently tap each side of your baking tray, and that just allows any of the air bubbles in the mixture to come to the surface. Now it's at this point that you can put your oven on to preheat. You want to set these trays aside and allow the macarons to dry for about 30 minutes, and that's going to allow them to form a bit of a crust before you bake them. Now you want to bake these for about 10 minutes. Once they're finished baking, allow them to cool down completely on the baking tray before you try taking them off. I'm going to pipe a donut of our ganache frosting on top of one of our macaron shells, fill the center up with some raspberry jam, and sandwich it with another shell. We're going to roll the outside of that macaron in that powdered freeze-dried raspberry, add the tiniest little bit of water on each macaron shell, and just gently and roughly tap that gold leaf sheet on top of your macaron shell. And that's pretty much it. Okay guys, so those were my Choc raspberry macarons. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. Recipe for these macarons are going to be on my website, thescranline.com. Link for that is in the box below. My last video is over there for you guys to watch, so click on that for more deliciousness. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all on the next episode of the Scran Line.